Hey guys, you know what time it is? It's movie review time. But before I get to that, little detour. Before I went to the film, I spent a little time with my awesome sister Sophie. So shout out to you, Soph. We chilled out in town for a little bit. Had a white chocolate flapjack. We shared one, and we had our own. And then we even had a hot chocolate and a selfie, which was really cool. And it's always a blast chilling with the sis. So shout out to you, sis. But now to the movie review. I went to see part 2, chapter 2 of The Strangers. I wasn't truly impressed with the first one. It was alright. You take it or leave it sort of film. It was alright. But this one, in a nutshell, was a hell of a lot better. Very cat and mouse. It was so much better. Still the same actress from the first one, so I'm glad it wasn't a different story. It was the same actress continuing from the first one. So the first scene was in the hospital where the strangers were chasing her, and there was one scene in particular I could just imagine would be really, really horrifying to even experience. She loses her fiance, and one of the hiding places that she had to hide to get away from the strangers is in the morgue, and she literally had to lie right next to her dead fiance. So I could only imagine how that would have felt. I think we all could imagine how that would come across, and that would have been truly devastating. But it was really cat and mouse throughout the film, and when you've gone through a traumatic experience, you're not going to know who to trust, because if you've seen strangers, they have masks on, so you don't actually see who they are, so you don't know who really to trust. And even though at one point these two women came to her aid, and even though she was safe in the car, she had a panic attack in the car wanting out, which they didn't let her out at the time, but you could imagine her fear, because she doesn't know if they have the right intentions or not, especially when they get company by two other guys that they knew. She stormed out of the car, but to carry on where I was saying, did they have rightful intentions? Maybe they didn't. There's only one way to find out about that now, isn't there? But this female boss, this lead actress, she went through the ringer of everything, from even getting chased by this massive pig on steroids who was literally beating her to pillar to post, biting her leg, standing on her back, everything, throwing her from one side to another until she evened her own score. But every time she seemed like there was this person who's going to help or that person they're going to help, you could imagine what would happen in a slasher movie. But yes, this film was a hell of a lot better. Even went back to the house where a lot of the film in the part 1, in chapter 1, was taking place. So it was so much better than chapter 1. And in the ambulance scene where she's trying to drive away to score herself, one of the female strangers tried to stop her, and I'm not going to get into what happened, but you do see that stranger's face. But one thing I do like about this one, they did target a lot about that particular person backstory as a kid, as a child, of why she sort of became the killer that she was meant to be. And you also saw her first kill too. But it was weird when you saw the reveal of the woman's face and the other stranger kneeling down at her while she's on the ground. It went to be continued, so it's clear there's going to be a chapter 3, which straight after they said that, given a few minutes, there was a sort of a nidbit of a trailer for chapter 3 and what is to come and what is to expect with chapter 3 going forward. I noticed it took a long time to create this film, so I wonder how long it's going to take to create chapter 3, but I will definitely say chapter 2 was so much more better than chapter 1. I can't remember the review I did for chapter 1, but going on fresh eyes, seeing chapter 2 and really enjoying it and experiencing it, and the fact that this time going to see the film, barely anybody talked, everybody just watched the film and embraced the film. I did notice somebody was charging their phone, which I didn't even know you could actually do that in the cinema, so nice tip for next time. But yes, if I had to give this a solid score, I would give it an 8 out of 10. It was a bit thrown upon with the to be continued, but I am really intrigued of what is next and how they're going to go with what's next, what's to come, and will chapter 3 even overpass chapter 2. So yeah, chapter 2 of The Strangers, worth a watch. I do recommend it. Bear with me for a second, I don't want to get hit by a car or a bus, so you know, thank you. So yeah, not a bad outing, and like I said, it was awesome seeing my sis earlier, having some calls with Sarah, enjoying an awesome film. Yeah, it's been really good. A productive day, if you say the very least. So go to Odeon Cinemas or Showcase Cinemas or wherever you choose to go to. Check out Strangers 2 and let me know what you think. So like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications and for future videos as well. So take care, and 4 letters, 1 word.